So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope I'm live and you guys can see me. Okay, just let me know if you guys can see me and everything is fine. One second, just let me check if I am live. Okay, cool. So I'm live, right? Let's get started. So welcome back, guys. This is lesson number one on cracking interviews. So this is the playlist which we have designed, right? Which we have created for our interview preparation tips and tricks. And please do let me know if you can hear me clearly and if everything is fine. Just let me also check if everything is fine. Okay, perfect. So everything is fine. Let's get started, right? And just let me give me 1 second. I'll just fix everything and then we'll start our session. Okay, just 1 second, guys. Okay, perfect. So I hope everything is fine, right? And it's working, everything is going well. So let's get started. Now, guys, this session's why I tried to bring it up here because, it's been a while and we have not talked about tips and tricks on how to crack interviews. I was only covering front end playlist and we have covered a lot of things in front end playlist, right? But now you're getting ready for interviews and it's time that before going to the interviews you should be knowing the tips and tricks to follow, right? What and how you should give the interviews, right? So that's why this particular session we have come up with, in which we are going to actually talk upon what all things you should be remembering when you are moving into interview, or going into a virtual interview or facing a face to face interview. What all things you should know before going into that particular zone, correct? So that's why this session is there, and I have taken a lot of sessions in most of the areas where I've trained people how you can sit for an interview, how you can well prepared for it, and what are the tips and tricks to follow basically. So that's what we are going to do in this particular playlist. There are two lessons right now, which is lesson number 1 and lesson number 2. Lesson number 1 we are going to start right away, which is 7 p.m., and it will go till maybe 1.5 hour or 2 hours, and then we are going to again come back at 9:30. We are going to again do a second session on the same thing, on the tips and tricks part 2. So we are going to understand lesson number 2 as well. Okay, and I hope you guys are liking this session because this session was very much in demand. Everybody wanted this session to happen, right? So hi Sumu, perfect, you guys are here. Hello Dheeraj. I'm good. I'm good. How was your day? My day was great. So please do let me know how was your day, and also please other people also give me a hi and a hello or anything. You can ask a lot of questions here. This PPT, there's no PPT, there's no technical things, there's nothing which I have done for this particular session. This is only my experience which I'll be sharing. So I want you guys to be very interactive with me, right? How many questions you have, just ask it to me. If you have any doubts, any silly doubts is also there, please do let me know, because that's how this session will be, right? And with your doubts many other people also will be knowing about it. Okay, okay bro, do take care of your health kindly, because your voice seems due to cold, I guess. Yeah, I live in a place where it's all mountains and it's very cold here. So it happens, but I'm in a habit of this. So yeah, but thank you so much. I'll take care about this. Okay, let's get started. So if you guys do not know about me, then let me just introduce myself. My name is Ritwik Raj and I'm a corporate trainer. I've also worked as a subject matter expert and a research analyst in most of the edtech companies. I have been guiding people from 3 years how to train yourself and get inside a company, or technically or non-technically, in both the ways, communication skills and everything. So I've trained graduates and corporate employees from Edison, Capgemini, and I've trained more than 30 students till now, and it's increasing day by day. The subjects which I take is mostly into front-end development, back-end languages, database, and some tips and tricks on how to crack interview preparations. The same thing I'm doing right now. This is my first lesson on interview preparation. So just also give me a feedback at the end that you have understood a lot of things which you are not knowing, right? So it will be really good if you can tell me that also at the end. Uh, Now, this was all about me, and I have a very good news for you, which you can use my code RIT10 to get a free level sample test paper, right? So this coupon code you can use and you can get a level sample test paper if you already know what is a level. If you already know what is a level, you must be knowing there's an actual test which you have to give. So this sample test paper will help you out in understanding which type of questions will be coming up in the actual test. And if you guys do not know what is level, then just let me introduce about it to you. Just in 1 minute, right? Now, the reason of Relevel coming into as a product by Unacademy, there are very many reasons. So the most valid reasons is nothing but many students are there who have done some different degree, let's say BSc, BCA, or BCom, but they want to jump into IT field or IT sector. So they have the skills, they have the talent, they have done a lot of projects also, but when they're applying to 50, 60 companies, no company is actually calling them for the interview, because they're just taking their degree and they are understanding that okay, he has done BSc or BCom, what he will be knowing about technical field, right? That's why it's getting rejected, but it's not very appropriate, right? We should not do like that. And also, if you are an BE graduate or an engineering graduate, if you are from tier 3 college, none of the MNC will actually give you a call for an interview, right? Just in case, like very rarely it happens, because most of the obviously very good companies do want very good students, and which will be there in tier 2 or tier 1. So that's why many of the candidates do not get these opportunities or miss out these opportunities. In that case, Relevel comes into picture, which is India's first test hiring platform by Unacademy, which is helping job seekers find their dream jobs on the basis of their skill and talent. Okay, so only on the basis of skill and talent they are going to judge you. Now, how they are going to judge on the basis of just skill and talent? They are going to take a free test. Again, I'm repeating, it's a free test which you have to take, and these are 1,000 marks. You have to score above 700 to get eligible for a profile, which will be shared with all our client companies, or 50 plus companies, including top startups and unicorns are there. So you have a very high chance of getting interviewed and getting hired, because there are 1,000 plus job positions also across business development, front development, and backend development, right? So you can attempt this test for free, and also if you score less than 700, no worries, after 30 days again you can reattempt the test, right? So with Relevel, you are in a unique position to invite interest from companies instead of hunting for opportunities on your own. Correct? Now, how to register yourself on Relevel? Basically, you can go ahead and check out the web page. The link is given in the description. If you click on it, you will be able to get into a website which is relevel.com, and you have to register your number there. Once you put down your mobile number, get an OTP, you will get inside this page where it's basically telling you that which particular test you want to choose. So if you have experience in business development, you know skills on business development, select that and then move to the next page, which is to book a slot. So book a slot when you want to give the level test. Slots are limited, so I suggest you to book it fast. And once you fill in the details for the admit card, you have to fill in the full name, email ID, birth year, current state, gender, and all of these things. And here you need to put down the code. So remember the code RIT10 which I gave you. This code you can put down here, and you can click on apply and click on create account. Once you do this, you'll get a profile page of your own account page, where you'll have the sample paper. Now click on the sample paper to download it and get an idea of what kind of questions will be asked in the actual test, so that it will be really easy for you to crack the actual exam. I have very good news again for you guys, that some of you were telling that what all questions will be asked in the front-end development test of Relevel, right? What all kind of questions will be there in the actual test? Can you please bring up one session in which you can discuss all the Relevel questions which has been asked in the Relevel front-end development test, right? So I'm soon coming up with that, right? I have all the questions and answers selections, and I'm coming up with one of the video in which I'm going to discuss about all the Relevel papers, all the questions which is coming in front-end development test of Relevel, and you're going to get a full understanding of what kind of questions will come. It will really help you, because you will get an understanding of all the different patterns of questions coming in the actual test, right? So soon I'm coming up with that session as well. And yeah, so that is all about Relevel. If you have not registered, go ahead and register, because slots are limited, as I already told you. But if you've already registered, then all the best for your exam. And if you are not skilled enough, if you're thinking that this exam is of 1,000 marks and I'm not skilled enough, I'll prepare myself and then later I'll come back. So do not waste time. Go ahead and look at the playlist which is created in CodeBeyond channel. And if you see, most of the educators are there who is taking different domains like DSA, CP, lead code problems is getting solved, Python, SQL, backend programming, front-end programming. Many of the things are going in the YouTube channel, right? So go ahead and check out those, upskill yourself. Once you're ready, come back and register for Relevel. Okay. So that's all about Relabel. Please join the Telegram channel as well. The Telegram channel link is given in the description of the video description. Go ahead and click on it. Why you have to join the Telegram channel? Because many of the notifications, all the notifications about when a particular educator is coming live, at what time, with what topic, all of those things update will be given in the Telegram channel. Okay, so please join that, and also please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is CodeBeyond, and hit the notification bell so that you get an update and notification in the YouTube app as well. Also, please like and share this video. If you've already liked the previous videos, thank you so much for doing that. And please also like and share this video so that more and more number of people will be able to get interview ready. Okay. Now, let's get started with cracking interviews and tips and tricks part 1. So we are going to understand what all things we should be knowing when we are talking about, tips and tricks, right? Now, there is no PPT, as you can see, there's nothing. It's just my knowledge which I'll be sharing with you guys, right? So first of all, the people who are here, right? I want an attendance. I just want to ask, like, how many of you are doing what? If you are in 4th semester, just write you are in 4th semester. If you are in graduated, just tell that you are graduated. Or if you are just into going into an engineering college, then please do let me know if you have just started your engineering journey, right? Just do let me know these things, and then we are going to start our session. Cool. Okay. Now, talking about tips and tricks to the interview, right? Before going into and talking about the interviews, we have to reach till the interview, right? We have to reach till the end, and to reach till interview, you have a lot of things which you have to do, right? You have a lot of things which you have to do. You have to, first of all, get ready for it. Get ready in the sense that you have to be confident about it, right? And before that, also, you need to understand some of the technical terms, and mostly I'll just write here that you should have the technical knowledge of it, right? Not only that, you should have some soft skills also, right? And in your college, when you're in college, from college itself, you should start doing these things, right? Then only one day will come when you will attend the interviews, right? Now, these things you already know, right? But there are some things which you do not know. Now, there are people who are non-programmers, okay? There are people who are non-programmers. That means they are from maybe mechanical or chemical or civil engineering. And later on, what happens? Right now, they will not understand that, we are doing mechanical engineering and we will get placed in core company of mechanical, right? Or civil. There are still many students who are getting confused and just diving into the mechanical or civil engineering or some other kind of engineering, right? But later on, when they get to know, they move into IT. So it does happen, and it can happen to anybody, right? Many people are focused into mechanical civil, but many people are something like that they do not know what to do, and then after doing 4 years of mechanical engineering, they move to IT field, correct? So those people are called as non-programmers. So in my audience, there are some people who are non-programmers, right? And they want to move into programming, and they find it very difficult because this, when you talk about programmers or coders, this is a very different domain when you talk about mechanical or civil. But there is one thing in common, which is the first year, right? In first year of engineering, you must be knowing that in first year of engineering, everything is common for all the branches, right? Whether it is EC, Triple E, CSC, any particular field, your first year will be common to all of these branches, right? In first year, you must be getting taught about coding as well, right? And in this part only, the mechanical students get to understand about some basic things about C programming language or C++ or Java, right? And I think right now, I think Python is also getting included in your syllabus. So let's say Python as well, right? Okay, I'm getting some comments. So Gaurav, I'm graduated and have even working in a startup. Perfect. Graduated from Bits Planning, working at the Times Group as a software engineer. Okay, I have something for you guys as well who are graduated and you guys are working for some company. I have one very valid point here. I'll talk about that later on, not now. Right now, I'm just speaking about some facts, which is to turn a non-programmer into a programmer. Okay, so we'll we'll move from college to soft skills, and then we'll move to technical knowledge, then we'll move to getting ready, and then we'll move to interviews, right? This is how the pattern will be. So first of all, when you're at college, what you should do, we'll talk about that, and then slowly we are going to move. Okay, meanwhile, in the between, I'll also talk about experienced people, because I am experienced person. So I have 3 years of experience, and I know how things work in IT companies. So I can share a lot of things about experienced people also, right? So I want all those inputs should be there, right? Whatever I will be telling you. Also, some of the inputs from you guys, if you can please write down. There are 10 participants, 11 participants who are watching it right now. So please do let me know what is your profession, if you are graduated or if you're in third sem, what you're doing right now. Okay. Let me just remove this. And let me just start from our college uh, place, right? Now, when you're in your college, let it be any particular degree, right? Let it be ESC, let it be any particular thing, any particular domain, correct? There are some things which you need to understand when you go into in a college, right? If you're from a CS and IT, you have joined this because you know that you will be working in a product based company or a service based company or a multinational company where you'll be working with coding. You must be knowing this, right? If you are in a EC or triple E, you know that you will be working in one of the sector where electric components or something like that will be there, correct? You know that, but still you have coding here. You will be having coding in this also. You will be having coding. If you guys are doing engineering from EC or EEE, you must be knowing you will be doing coding. Microprocessors, microcontrollers, you have coding itself. That is nothing else but coding, right? Also, if you talk about mech and civil, there are 50% of the students who move to IT after doing 4 years of mechanical and civil, and they move to IT, right? And with the help of just understanding some of the programming languages, basic programming languages, and they move it to IT, right? Some of them failed in it, right? Some of them do not get a vibe of coding, and they're still confused whether coding is something which I should do. So here the question arises, right? That whether you are very sure about coding, whether you want to do coding or not, that you need to make sure. So first of all, you need to make sure whether you want to do coding in your future or not. Now, what is the meaning of coding? It's not only to create a web page or a website. It's very obvious that coding is not only that much. Coding is very wide and it's very vast. Okay. From website to software designing, to system designing, to data science, to data analysis, to machine learning, to AI, these all are nothing but coding, right? And in the first year of college, when you're doing coding, you are not sure whether you want to move into that field or this field or where you'll be reaching, right? Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. You don't have a pre-planned thing. No matter in between, in third year, fourth year, what will happen? Maybe something will happen and you will move into a different field. What you thought you will become, you did not become. You became something else, right? So those things will happen in your 4 years of journey. Now, how to make sure that whatever you're doing in those 4 years are valid, okay? And you are using these 4 years of your time. So in these 4 years, what you should be doing, first of all, you make sure that you are designed for coding. And in the first year itself, you should be starting to doing coding, creating a web page. You all know that in CBSE and ICSE board, we have learned about HTML, CSS, right? And till now, I have been teaching HTML and CSS, right? And these things have been taught to all college students, school students as well. Right now, most of the kids are also learning how to create web pages, right? So don't you think that you should be knowing how to create a website in your first year itself? So in your first year itself, you should be knowing how to do a website designing, right? The very first thing. Why am I telling this as the first thing? Because this is much more easy. This is very easy to do. This is very easy to do in your first year. No matter what your core syllabus is, you have to do this thing by side. Okay, so this is the side hustle which you'll be doing. This is a side hustle which you'll be doing, right? Let's come to the second year. In the second year, maybe you'll start with the DSA, because DSA is something which will make you stress, right? And this will take time. Maybe till third year, fourth year also, you'll not be able to understand how this DSA works, because there are a lot of problems which many of the senior developers do not try to, solve it. And this needs a lot of practice. So from second year till fourth year, you should not leave this particular thing, which is DSA. So these 2 years you have to do at least 1 or 2 problems per day, and then only you will be able to cover everything. And why I'm taking this 2 years here, because you have your curriculum also, you have your exams also, there are a lot of things which will happen here, right? Maybe you'll do some fun activities also. This is a college life, you don't want to just read and study everything, right? Maybe these 2 years, 1 year is just total waste of time, because this is engineering, and engineering, you never know what happens, right? So this 2 years you have to just do DSA. In between you'll be doing a lot of activities, right? And meanwhile, when you're learning DSA, you will be knowing two major things. You'll be knowing a lot of things now. You'll be knowing about HTML, you'll be knowing about JS, you'll be knowing about the frameworks, right? And you'll be knowing about DSA. These things are mandatory to get an intern in any of the product companies, right? To get an intern job, I'm just telling about intern job. That means you should not be having a much more knowledge about everything. You should be having just minimal knowledge, so that you can start working in a product based company. I'm talking about a product based company here, okay? Such as Amazon, Google, or Microsoft, such companies, okay? Now in third year itself, you will be doing an internship, and you'll be getting paid. Not only that, you can also do freelancing there, right? You can do freelancing as well. Why these all things are needed? Why I'm stressing these all things here in your 4 year kind of work? Because I have seen that most of the product companies, if you guys are doing these all things in a way, how the interviewer thinks about you, that from the first year of engineering, you have planned your days, you have planned your year, what you have to do, how you have to hustle, how you have to do everything. It's not only about money that you'll be getting here in internship. You'll be getting a lot of things which will help after fourth year, right? So even if you right now you're in your third sem, no worries, start doing these all things. Start creating a web page of your own, start creating a website designing. No matter what, if your field is in data science, start doing website designing, because this is the most easiest thing. Maybe if you do not know website designing, if you're starting your knowledge in your data science, it will be hard enough for you, okay? Because you do not know anything about coding, and you just thought that, okay, my brother is doing the data science, my brother-in-law is a data scientist, my this is an AI engineer, my this friend is my this senior is ML enthusiast. So that will make you do data scientist thing, okay? And you start learning data science, but you'll not be able to achieve anything. You'll not be able to understand any of the thing when you are going for a data science profile, okay? You'll not be able to understand anything, because data science needs a lot of hard concepts to understand, right? So start your journey with website designing, because that's the most easiest thing. Once you create a particular web page of your own, you'll be very much confident about it, right? You'll be very much confident about at least these 4 things, right? And then you'll be interview ready, right? For an internship, for anything. And then you are moving into DSA, which is the most important topics in all the product companies. Not only now product companies, but most of the startups are also asking these questions based on DSA, right? So go ahead and do DSA, right? All the important topics such as, heap, stack, queue, linked list, array list, all of those things in your second year till fourth year. How much ever you can do, solve at least 1 problem per day. Or if you're skipping one day, not a problem. You are going to gym, you are doing a lot of fun activities, because it's engineering. So don't worry about that, but still do this. Do not leave this, right? Nowadays, what happens? People just get focused in this 4 year of syllabus, right? 4 year of syllabus. And later on, after fourth year, they got to know, okay, DSA was also there. this programming language was also there. I need to learn about this also, and it's become too late, right? It has become too late. You have not done any internships, you have not done any, you have don't have any experience, you have not done freelancing, nothing, right? In college you are that much free, but after fourth year you'll be in panic that I don't have a job, and that panic will lead you to more stress, and then you will not be able to do anything properly in your engineering college. Even if you're scoring less, you have all these skills, right? And right now in COVID situation, you must be knowing what is the scene. The scene is that engineering is not required. Most of the companies are not looking for a degree, they just want skill and talent. If you have the skills, if you even have website designing or DSA skills, it's enough for you to get into a product company. That's how the scenario has become, right? There are more number of 12th class students who have just finished their 12th class student. They don't have any degree, they've just taken one particular course or something of full stack development, and now they are working in a product based company. Correct? So it's not about the degree, but yeah, we Indians are like that. We should be having one degree, right? And that's why we go for it. So that's why I'm just explaining this part, right? Now, yeah, so doing internships and then doing freelancing. Once you do freelancing, what freelancing will help you? Basically to talk to clients, to talk to international people, because you are a just 20-year-old, 21-year-old young guy, and you're talking to a senior manager, maybe a CEO of a company who has given you a work, right? You will be shivering at that time because you're talking to a very senior position person, but that will give you a boost up on your confidence level, right? You must be not knowing how to say English, you must be not knowing how to speak it, but once you will take some work, you have to talk, you have to go ahead and attend a meeting, you have to get connected with those people, right? And once you do that, you'll become more confident. And once you will do all these things, everything will be in your hand. You will be knowing all the technical knowledge, you will be having an internship certificate, you will be having a freelancing idea, you will be having experience in communication, you will be having soft skills, confidence, everything will be there, and you're interview ready, right? Most of the times you will get a job inside this company itself where you're doing internships. But suppose if your internship company is not that good, you want to apply for a better position in a better company, you go ahead and do that after fourth year, and then you will be in a right position if you are looking for such kind of jobs, right? So this is a pattern which you can follow, and this I've told you from first year. Let's say that you're in fourth sem, start from then, start from today, tomorrow itself. Do not wait for anything else. There are a lot of content in YouTube, there are a lot of things which is there in YouTube. You can't just go ahead and take down everything, right? Can't try to gain certificates for HTML from everywhere. Even HTML certificates are not necessary, because if you know HTML, if you know a particular language and you're very confident in it, you don't need a certificate. Certificates are needed to just showcase that you have done this and you know a little bit about it, you have done some practical things about it. Okay, if you know HTML very closely and you can do anything in HTML, you don't need a certificate. So like that, if any particular language you know about it, you don't need a certificate for that. So don't run for certificates, it's just the skill which you should be knowing. Even I've seen some people who are working in Google, they don't have any certificates, no certificates at all, but they have the skill, right? So that what matters. Okay, graduated from BITS Pilani, working at the Times Group. I'm third sem student of instrumentation and control engineering. Ankush, hi. Okay, perfect. So let's get started with what I am teaching you right now. So I have created some of the things, right? And I just wanted to discuss this with you in this particular session. So what we are going to do here is we are going to first of all understand, if you are a non-programmer, then how you're going to move ahead and become a programmer, right? So that's what we are going to understand right now. And then later on, we are going to do one particular thing in which we are going to understand how to start coding for all the beginners. Okay. So if all the beginners are there, please do let me know. Let's get started with this session. I'm just going to remove everything. Okay. Let me check if I'm live. Okay, perfect. So some of the things which you should be knowing when you are, a non-programmer and you want to move into a field of programming, right? There are some of the things which you should be knowing. So first of all, there are some important facts, right? Which you should be knowing about it, correct? So what are some of the important facts? Let's talk about it. So first of the fact, which is really, really important, that it doesn't matter from which branch of engineering you are, right? You can always become a programmer. So it does happen that many a times, most of the students have come to me and told me that, sir, I'm from mechanical and civil, and I have the skill, but still, because of looking into my, engineering stream, nobody hires me, right? So in that case, what you have to do, you don't have to worry about your profession, you don't have to worry about your engineering field, you have to worry about your resume. Okay, you have to worry about how you are building your resume. You do not have to focus engineering field in your resume, but you have to focus what are projects you have done in that IT field in which you want an IT job, right? So let's say that you have your resume. Okay, let's say one candidate is there who is having his resume, and in the resume he has written about his all 10th, 12th and engineering field and the percentage. Okay, and then he has written about the projects which he has created on his engineering time uh, in the field of mechanical. Okay, all the projects are of mechanical, and he is applying for any MNC company for an IT job. In the skills, he has just written C, Java, and Python. Okay, obviously, this resume will get rejected because in his resume, whatever he has mentioned, 80% of the thing is taking him towards his branch, and 20% is only talking about his skills in your IT field. So don't you think this will get rejected? I can reject it because, looking at just C Java, everybody in this era knows C Java. Everybody, even if it's any particular person from civil engineering, they have their first year college, and in the first year they have been taught these programming languages, so they must be knowing how this works, right? So there is not even a single person who doesn't know what C language is or Java language is. Even in right now in songs, we do listen about these languages, right? And in most of any places we heard about coding languages, right? Even a children is learning, kids are learning coding languages. So do you think 20% is enough in your resume? Now imagine that there is one more person who is having his resume, and inside that he has written just the college name and the marks. Okay, the stream is not written. The stream is not written. It's just written B or B Tech. Okay, and the projects is not mentioned about what he has done projects in the college. First, the projects are mentioned which he has done on the basis of his IT skills. Okay, so maybe he has created some websites, maybe he has created some software, maybe he has created some standalone projects. All those projects are mentioned here. Later on, in the other page, he has written a projects which he has done in his branch. Okay, before the project also he has written a skill section in which he has written all the skills which he is having, and not only he has given a skill name, but he has given how much good he is on each of the skills. In C language, how much good he is. In C++, how much good he is. So in all of these languages, he has written everything about it. Okay, like maybe 68% I know about C language. Maybe I know 90% in Python. I'm that good in Python. He is challenging the interviewer that I know all of these things. Now, what is happening here? 80% things are written about the IT part and just 20% about his engineering. He is more focused into going into IT and not into this field. Okay. Now, you will be saying that, okay, sir, whatever you are saying is valid points. But what if the interviewer is asking that, you have done civil engineering or mechanical engineering and you are moving into IT? Why this change? Why this particular change happened, right? Why do you want to do that? Is and sometimes also happens that the interviewer will tell you that, are you doing it because there are a lot of jobs in IT companies and you're not getting much job in civil and mechanical, and then you'll be stuck. You'll be stuck. You'll not be in a position to tell any answer because he has told the fact about it. That is why you are there, right? Now, the thing which you need to understand is there could be two reasons which you can say, and be very frank about it, be very honest about it. There could be two reasons. First thing, you wanted to go into a college where you wanted to get a CS branch, but uh, because of lot of hard work, you only got those colleges where you are getting only civil and mechanical branch. But my main motto was get into a CS branch from the starting. But because I was not getting into any particular CS branch in any of the college, I chose this. And now I've decided that no, it's not of my interest. I want to move to IT field itself. That's why in my 4 years of journey, I was not only doing good in my current branch, but I was also working on my IT skills as well. This is what you can answer in the first place. Okay. Now you'll be thinking that this is not a valid thing because you're just confusing the interviewer, but it's not the same way. There are a lot of people who have done this in their interviews, and nobody's questioning you anything because the world knows, India knows what's happening to the engineers, right? So this will be a valid point. Nothing is gonna happen here. But suppose in the second case, what you are saying that uh, you're just saying that I did civil and Mac, and after that, I did not get any job in the core branch. And because I was having some skills in my IT field, so I thought that I should jump to it and I should give it a try. This is not a valid answer. Giving it a try or doing it just for fun to just check whether it will suit you or not is not something which interviewer is expecting. Obviously, because a company, when he is interviewing you, he wants you to be fully dedicated. And if you're just saying that I want to just see whether it is suited for me or not, he is going to reject you because there are a lot of 500 other students who are dying to get into his company, right? So he will surely reject you. So do not get into this attempt. Try to be very frank and honest. Try to get into the first answer, which is nothing but from the starting, what happened to you, what happened with you, that you need to explain it to them. Okay. So this is a valid answer which you can give here in this kind of scenarios. And many people have done this. There is no problem in that. No, there's no problem in doing it. Okay. Now coming to another point. Another fact about a non-programmer to a programmer, right? You worked in a different domain for the last 8 years. You can still switch to a developer role anytime. Okay. Let's say that I have been working as a HR, right? Or maybe a sales department. I'm just working there, right? And this could happen for any reason. Maybe I was not ready to become a developer. Maybe I tried to become a developer, but I did not get inside any company. So I was doing some work to, you know, manage my life financially or something like that. And then in this time period, when it was already 3 years or 4 years, when I was ready enough to get inside a company as a developer, then I tried to move my field or switch my field to a developer position. Okay, there are many such incidents, there are many such cases where people have worked for as a sales person or a business executive, and later on after 3 to 5 years they have become a developer. So it's not that if you're a non-programmer you can't become a programmer. Anytime you can switch its domain and you can move ahead. The only difference which it will make is in 3 years how much you are going to earn here as a business development. You're not going to earn that much in a company where you are a developer. Okay, again it depends. Let's say that you are a salesperson or a business executive for 3 years, right? You have been earning, let's say, 5 LPA, right? And you switched the domain after 3 years. You moved into a particular company, let's say TCS or any particular company, where you are getting only 4 LPA. That's quite a good deal because you are into a multinational company which is a service based company, and there is only one LPA which is making a difference, but you are getting a developer position, which was your profession, which you wanted to do, which for which you are prepared for 3 years while working, earning, and learning, right? But suppose in 3 years you do not want to move into any service based company but a product based company. You want to move to Amazon, Google, or Microsoft. You will work hard in these 3 years. This 5 LPA is nothing behind 34 or 24 LPAs, correct? So that also you can do, right? And it needs a lot of effort in these 3 years because product based companies are not so easily to achieve, correct? That also when you are in a different field, but it's not impossible. There are people who have been working as a different job role and they have moved into a developer in a product based company. So there's nothing impossible. You can do this. There are a lot of friends who have done this of mine. So this is how you need to do. And if anybody is asking in the interview, let's say that in interview somebody is asking that, hey, you have experience as a sales executive or a business executive, then why do you want to move to developer position? You are doing very fine. It's been 3 years that you have the experience. You must be knowing the in and out of a company, right? Then why do you want to move into development? You can say that I have been fascinated about IT, right? Because I was from a CS field. It's just that in that scenario, when I was getting placed or when off campus placement or on campus placement was happening, uh, it's just that it didn't happen. I didn't get placed to any of the companies because I was not skilled enough. But I think right now I'm skilled enough and I'm ready to get into a developer position. And because it was my dream, so I'm just fulfilling my dream. And that's why I just want to give it a go. Right? This will be a valid answer and you will be getting into that particular company. And here also, again, you are being honest, right? I'll tell you where you have to be fake. Where you have to be fake. There are some places in interview where you have to be fake, and it's not that fake that you have to just tell a lie. It's not that fake. Most of the places you have to be very honest because interviewers will get to know whether you are faking about your life or not. Okay, so I'll tell you that situations as well. Let me remove this and let's come back to the third point, which is it is not important to have a degree to get hired. Knowledge is much more important than that. And I've also told you this enough times that it's not about the degree, it's about the skill, right? There are many students who have left doing engineering in NIT at third year or second year, and they are now opening a startup and it's working quite well, right? And you must be knowing about it. You guys are youth and you must be knowing what's happening uh, around the world or around India, right? So degree is not that important. Do not worry about this, how much percentage you are getting here or what is the final grade which you are getting here. It's most important thing is your skill, and this is only depending on your IT job. Okay, I'm just talking about the product based companies as a developer. Do not, this is not valid when you are going for a higher studies. If you are looking for higher studies as an MBA or MTech, then you have to score a very good mark in your whatever degree you're doing. Okay, but in IT field, when you want to become a developer or something, that's your main task which you want to do from early, then skill is something which is most important. Let me just check out if any comment is there. Guys, please do let me know if you have any doubts, if any particular thing which you want to ask. Please do let me know. I will be able to answer it. Okay, so that's one thing, that's the another thing, right? And next fact is nothing but you need to understand that you do not want to become a programmer. When you are moving into a programmer field, you don't want to become a programmer, you actually want to become a problem solver. Okay, this is what you need to think about. Now, what is a problem solver? Basically a person who solves the problem, right? Now, if you are if you are thinking that you are doing programming and you know a Java programming language, you know Python programming language, and you will get inside a company, it's not that. Right now in this particular 2020-21 era, when everybody is working on their projects and they are creating a very different kinds of projects, right? Because they want to make an impact in the society. Okay, and this impact will be only happening when you're doing something out of the box. So you're not going to create any e-commerce website, or you're not going to create the same thing which other people are doing. You have to do something else, something unique, uh, which has come up from your own, right? So if you're doing that, if it is solving a problem, if it is doing an impact, that's where you are learning things. I'll tell you one example. So nowadays there are many edtech companies who are uh, you know teaching kids how to code, right? And in those companies, what they do is they try to teach them how to code first of all. So the kid is okay and they are learning how to code. Once they learn this, after this, they have been given some 15 amount of time, and in those 15 days the kids have to come up with an idea, okay, which will be a problem in the society. Okay, let's say COVID, okay, or let's say drainage problem, let's say any problem in this particular India or in the world, and that problem, how it can be sorted or how it can be solved, these things they have to come up in 15 days. So first the problem and how it will be solved, okay. Next, after 2 to 3 days, they have to search for how these particular solutions can be done using coding, okay. And the next 15 days they have to design this application. So how cool is it, right? Because here they're trying to create a problem, they're trying to create a problem, and after that they're trying to solve it. And once they get the answer of how to get it can be solved, they are solving it using coding. Correct? Maybe a sample, maybe just a way, maybe just an idea, but they have a concept, right? So it's not only about that you should be knowing about a programming language, but it should also be about that whether you are a problem solver or not. So try to find in your case how it can be. An example can be, let's say your father is having a shop, right? And his shop is not working very good. His shop is not getting a revenue of that much amount which he is used to get earlier. Maybe because right now everything is online, so nobody is coming to his shop, and his shop is not having that much crowd which it was earlier. So being an engineering student, being an IT student, what you should be doing, you can create a website for him, right? And you can click pictures of all his shop items and you can upload it in your website, and you can publish it. Everybody will be able to know what this website is, and then they can shop from there. A very good example of that is Misho, right? So there are some apps which is doing problem solving. Misho is a very great app. What does Misho do? It just all the vendors who is there around the world, right, around India, there are a lot of vendors who is creating a lot of different things which many people want to purchase, but because of no availability they're not being able to purchase that. But what Misho is doing, Misho is an app where other people can go there and other people can give their items in a much more discounted price, and they can purchase it. So that kind of problem solving things you have to do so that you can make an impact, right? Now coming to the next part, uh, if you want to move to a coding, if you want to become a programmer, in that case what you have to do. So facts we have already seen. Facts we have seen. What all facts do you need, right? We have seen about all the facts. Now you need to ask yourself some questions like, do you love coding? Do you actually love coding? Do you want to do coding or not? Are you someone who loves to create and build something of his or her own, right? If you want to build something of your own, then only go for this field. Do you think you can learn programming easily? It's not the fact. It's nothing easy here. uh, if you're thinking that I know C++, I know Java, I know Python, and now I can attempt for an interview and I can get selected, it's not now. Then that case in 2017 2016 I can say that okay, if you know these four languages you can get inside a company, but now it's not the case. You have to be knowing only one programming language, let's say Python, and you have to go deep inside it. You have to create projects based on this. You have to do NumPy, Pandas. You have to do a lot of projects here. DSA is also required nowadays. So these all things are required now, and it's not easy. So if you think programming is easy, it is not. And you can, if you're aligned to it, then only go ahead and do it. Do you just want to become a programmer or problem solver? That I've already told you. Can you think logically and solve a problem? Now, this is something which is very important. Can you think logically to solve a problem? Right? Right now, I've done a front end playlist, right? And I've created a lot of programs there and I've written a lot of logics there, correct? Now, recently I've done one video which was on advanced JavaScript part 4, where I tried to explain some of the things, right? And in that, I did explain you that if an interview is going on and he just asked you that you have to multiply a number twice, right? So there's an array which is having these numbers and you want to double or triple these numbers, right? Maybe the answer of this will be tripling this number will be something like this, right? Something like this, something like this, right? So tripling the number, whatever you are getting, you have to write a code for this. So you have to write a logic for this. Now, how you can do this? Internally, you know how you will do this. Mathematics you'll just multiply this 1 into 3. But don't you think you have to use for loop to go to the each of the array elements? Right, you have to fetch all the elements and then whatever elements you'll fetch, you have to multiply it with the same number 3 times, then it will do triple, then it will do the cube part, right? If anybody is asking for a square, you will again write a for loop. If anybody is asking for a quad, you will again write a for loop. But this is what you need not have to do. For loops, if you're writing 3 times, that's not a correct way to explain a logic. If you're repeating the code, this code is repeated, right? Then it's not a correct logic. You have to use the same logic, the same one-time for loop for all the different scenarios, whether it's a square, whether it's a cube, or whether it's a quad. So if you're thinking logically, then only you can become a programmer or a coder, right? If you're thinking that more number of lines of codes and these more number of lines of code is still giving me a solution, and your solution is correct, that's not how it works. Okay, in most of the product based companies, in most of the interviews, what happens, they will ask you a question and you will just try to solve it, and you will be able to solve it because the questions will be very much easy. Okay, but the question is designed in a manner that it is easy. Okay, it should look easy to you, and you will write some 20 lines of code and you will say that it is done and you'll be very happy, you'll be confident enough that I'm getting selected. But that's not the fact. The way how you have written the program, that matters a lot. Okay, so interviewer will not be very happy with the solution which you have got. He will be happy to see if you have attempted the question in a similar way how he was thinking. If you've written a very big code and that is also giving you the same answer, if you've written a very optimized code and that is also giving you the same answer, obviously the optimized code is what the interviewer want, not the bigger code is what the interviewer want, right? So it's not always a solution which you should be talking about in the interview, it's about the procedure. And in most of the product based companies, if you have seen some YouTube videos, you will be seeing some interviews going online, right? And in most of the scenarios, what happens, if a DSA question has been asked, most of the people do not just be silent for 10 minutes and try to solve this question. What they do is they try to interact with the interviewer. They try to say that, hey, if I take this variable and if I do this, then this is gonna happen. And after this, I'm going to apply this particular function here. And then I'm going to do this logic here. And then I'm going to get the output. So I'm going to print it. Why they're doing this? Why they're not simply just keep their mouth shut and just writing their code and just telling them the solution that, hey, here is the printing statement and it's printing the same thing which you wanted. Because they also know that interviewer wants to see your attempt, how you're attempting that question, which particular function you are creating, how you're using that function, where are you using that function, all those things. So line by line, you have to show that in minimal code, by having very minimum time complexity, how you can actually achieve that particular solution and how you can explain it to the interviewer. 3 things are happening when you're doing this, when you are solving a particular code in front of the interviewer by speaking. First of all, your communication skill is getting checked. Second thing, you are explaining. So your explanation, if it is very nice, then your interviewer will be able to know, okay, his explanation is also very good. And the third thing, which is the code, the attempt how you're making to write the code. These three things they are going to judge upon in your interview when you're asking a particular practical question. So in these three things, can you see solution? Right? There's no solution. One more fact, even if you're not getting the solution, let's say that you're not being able to get the solution, right? But your attempt of solving that question is perfect. Your attempt of solving that question is perfect. It's just that maybe there is some silly mistake, and because of that one silly mistake, you're not getting the answer. You will be getting placed. Okay, why is it so? Because interviewer understands that your attempt is perfect, but maybe that particular silly mistake is not being seen by you. Interviewer has seen that mistake, and he will only tell you that, hey, you're just maybe missing a semicolon there, or maybe you have written a particular term as in lowercase but should be written as uppercase. He will only tell you that that is the wrong thing, and then also he'll get placed. So it's always the procedure, it's always the lines of codes, it's always the logic which does matter, not your solution. Cool. So this you should be knowing about it. Okay, I can see some questions. Yes, Somu. So for online test, is doing lead code and its contents is enough? Somu, there are a lot of these kind of websites, right? And there's a whole hype that, there are a lot of edtech companies who are coming up with this. I won't name it, but there are a lot of things. There are lead code, geeks for geeks, blah blah. There are a lot of other sources as well, code forces. There are a lot of such websites, right? I'll suggest please do follow one, right? And I will not tell you which one is better, which one is not better, because if I tell you, then you will be able to follow that itself, right? There are a lot of people who are solving questions from lead code. There are a lot of people who are solving questions from geeks for geeks. There are a lot of people who are solving questions from some other website, right? Some other ed tech company. And there are a lot of people who are just doing it from code forces, right? Anywhere you do it from is just the internal structure, how they are making your journey strong enough and entertaining in the ways like in code forces and in lead code. In other places also you get a star rating, right? You get a star rating, you get some in lead code also you get some green colored things, that how much frequent you are in attempting those questions. If you're missing out one day, if you're not solving any question, it will not be good for you, and then you will not get that particular mark there, right? Sometimes it also happens that it counts the time, in how much time you're solving that particular logic, right? So in all these particular websites, these all functionalities are there, right? So code forces is having an external functionality which is not there in lead code. In lead code you have one functionality which is not there in code forces. So what I will suggest is try to go ahead in all of those list of websites. Go ahead, try to solve some questions in all of those, right? One day just do it from lead code, one day just do it from code forces, one day just do it from geeks for geeks, one day from blah, one day from blah, one day from blah. Okay, once you do this, you'll get an idea. In 1 week or 2 weeks, you'll get an idea that which particular website is giving me a lot of entertainment, or I'm just fixed in it. I just want to open that website and I just want to solve that problem. If that feel is coming, that is the correct website for you. Okay, and it changes person to person. Some people do love geeks for geeks, some people love the content of some other website, some people love code forces. Okay, maybe it's UI, maybe it's feel, how you're writing the code, how you're checking the solution, it is giving me a hint, right? So it differs in all of these websites. So I will suggest try to go ahead and look at all of them one by one, right? And try to figure out which one is best for you. Do not think that you should cover all of them. That is not a great solution. Do not think that if my friend is doing from geeks for geeks and is placed in Google, that means I should also go ahead and do it from geeks for geeks, I'll be placed in Google. No. Okay, your brain is different, his brain is different. Maybe something else is written for you, for him it was written something like that. Okay, do not try to go ahead and do try to attempt all the websites. Go ahead and take one or two, at least one or two, that's enough to solve questions per day, because even one website is having a lot of questions. You won't be able to sit and do it in just 1 month. It will take a lot of time, right? Try to do this. You'll be thinking that I have given a very, I've not given a very direct answer, but I've given a confused answer. Yes, I feel that I should give a confused answer. I should give this answer, that you should go ahead and attempt in all of these, and you should only try out and understand which one is good for you, because in one moment of your life, you have to decide what you need to do. Nobody's going to help you. Okay. So try to do this from the beginning itself. When you're standing, go ahead and research about it. Try to find out which particular uh, website will be helpful for me, in my case, for myself. Okay. Do not try to get into such kind of trap where many people are saying that Geeks is perfect, so go ahead and do that. Maybe it is not perfect for you. Maybe the questions which is there, it's much easy for you, right? So try to attempt those. That's what answer which I will give it to you, Somu. I don't know what other people are saying, but this is what I will suggest you. Okay. So Somu, if you have any other questions, please do let me know. Other people, if you have any other doubts, please do let me know. Otherwise, let's move to the next part. We were talking about some of the questions if you're moving from non-programming to programming, right? So I told you about, can you think logically to solve a problem? The next thing is is it just your hobby? Do you want to just do programming for your hobby, right? If you do not want to do it for a hobby, if it is something which you like and love, if you want to make it a profession, then only move to coding area or to coding field. Okay. So let's move to how to easily get jobs when you are a non-programmer, right? So let's write some points for that. So first point which I'll be mentioning here, how to easily get jobs. Preparation, skills and knowledge matters a lot, right? So here the first thing which you should be knowing is strong basic concepts. Now these basic concepts are not something like for loop or variable or operators, something like that. Those are not basic concepts. Those are something which you should be knowing as a coder, which you should be knowing as a programmer. Those are not something which somebody will come and tell you that, hey, you need to learn operators. And no, because operators, for loop, condition statements, switching, these all concepts are there in every programming languages, right? So those are not basic concepts. Basic concepts are those concepts which are very, very important in perspective of interviews, right? You have to research a lot in this manner. You have to research a lot about this matter, that you have to see in interviews in for that particular programming language which question has been asked a lot of time. Like in Python, we have a lot of questions asked from class, object, inheritance or initializer, right? In JavaScript, we have a lot of questions asked from closers, then event loop, right? Those are the basic concepts which I'm talking about here. The next thing which you should be knowing if you want to get easily the jobs is YouTube. Okay, YouTube is a free platform. It doesn't ask any money from you, right? And in YouTube there are billions and millions of content from which you can get some knowledge, right? But it's all upon you which particular thing you are choosing, who is guiding you in a much more better way, whose words or whose sentences are making you understand that particular logic. You need to search about that. You need to search in that manner, right? There are a lot of YouTubers, there are a lot of teachers, there are a lot of edtech companies whose YouTube channels is there. There are a lot of people who are working in Google, and by side they have opened YouTube channel as well to guide and help community, coding community, right? There are a lot of things. In from all of those, you have to go ahead and check out whose video is making an impact on your life, whose particular video is very good and you think that his words and his communication skills is understood by me. Because there are some trainers there are some educators, there are some trainers whose words will be very, very difficult to understand. They are using a lot of English, right? They're not using any Hindi language. it will be much more difficult for you to understand. Maybe you are not feeling comfortable with him, right? You're not being able to understand some of the concepts, but you are able to understand some of the concepts. So you're getting only half knowledge, right? So that is not good for you. You have to go ahead and look for some trainers or some educators. Maybe it's international also. It doesn't matter. There are a lot of YouTubers who are international and they are doing a great job. Try to find those contents which makes a impact on your life, okay? And try to follow that. Try to learn all of the things from that human being, right? So YouTube is a great platform where you can learn a lot of things, okay? Now, next thing, practice solving scenario based questions. Now, what is this? Now, basically, solving scenario based questions means if you are just thinking that prime number, factorial, Fibonacci, greatest of three integers, even number, odd number, these kind of questions will be asked in interview, then this is not 2016 or 2017. They're not going to ask you these kind of questions. Now, if you talk about what all are the, just once again. If you talk about what all are the different rounds in the interview, you will be shocked to know that now there are a lot of rounds which is happening. So first round which is happening is machine coding round, right? And then we have DS and algo, and then we have web technologies, then we have knowledge round, basically the TI interview, okay? And then there is managerial round, right? This is a 5-step or a 5 rounds which is for product based companies, right? There can be one more added interview, can be one more added round, but that's all depending on the company itself. And for MNC companies, or let's say a startup, there is mostly an aptitude, or you can say an MCQ based kind of paper for freshers, I'm saying. And then there is something called as a TI interview, right? Technical interview. And then there will be one more TI interview. And then there will be an HR round. Okay. Now I'll tell you what is the difference here. So basically what I'm trying to say, solving scenario based questions is nothing but, you can see here, when you're talking about aptitude, in aptitude, basically it is about your logics, right? Whether you can solve a paper very easily and quickly in time limit. That's what they check. So a mass rejection happens here, and this is also in most of the on-campus placements. If you're an engineering student, you must be knowing that the very first thing will be MCQs. Why do they keep this? Why in product-based companies is not there? Because they want to check your particular logic to attempt any question in a given time. And if suppose 700 students are there in college, they want to do a mass rejection in the first beginning of the interview, as in interview round itself, right? So that's why they do this round, so that mass rejection will happen and most of the students will go off, and there will be a cutoff in that, right? So this is there in this. Why this is not there in product based companies? It is there in machine coding round itself, but it's not of that impact what it's there in the MNC round. Because in product based company, your resume selection will only happen in that manner. Okay, so resume will only be selected if the interviewer or if the company finds it interactive. Otherwise, they're not even going to call you. They're just going to say that we are sorry to inform, but we are not going ahead with your things. And in most of the cases, you will see that a lot of good students also have this problem, that they are applying for Amazon or Google for last 3 years, but still it's getting rejected. Why? Maybe they have not done something which company wants. Okay, and they do post it in places that I'm getting rejected, right? And you must have seen these also. So in this particular MNC companies, if it is on campus and all, you have an aptitude round or a simple MCQ coding round, and then you have the technical interview one, where basically it has been told some knowledge questions has been asked to you, maybe a prime number, maybe a factorial number, or maybe such kind of questions which will be very easy and you'll be able to do it. But after that, in technical interview 2, they'll be able to give you some 5 questions based on uh, solving scenario based question, and this will not be face to face, it will be virtual, from hacker rank, from hacker earth, from lead code, something like that, because they give you scenario based questions. Okay, in those places you get scenario based questions. In the case that scenario based questions are something like that, there's a company, it is having a database, you want to fetch all the data from the database. How you'll do it? Suppose there's Ram and Rohan. He has given 10 apples to Rohan, and Rohan gave 5 apples back. Give me the time complexity, or write a program based on that. Something like that. How to sort those keywords, or letters. Some scenario will be there, and you have to solve that. So in this kind of interviews, you will only get approved or you only get selected when you are solving it in a daily basis, and that's where these all lead code and all these hacker rank, hacker earth comes into picture. That's where your second year to fourth year, 2 years of DSA comes into picture, right? That's where these all things get placed. So that's why I'm telling you what is the scenario, what happens inside a company. Again, coming to machine coding, many of the people will get rejected in machine coding itself when you're talking about product based company, because in machine coding basically they give you some scenario based questions and you have to solve it. Not only solving, but they will also take a look upon how you are solving. In most of the MNCs companies, they do not care how you're writing a program. They don't care how you're writing program. They just want to see whether you're getting a solution or not. Even if you're writing 100 lines of code, which can be done only in 20 lines of code, if your solution is coming, this MNC company will hire you. But in product based companies, in machine coding round, if you're writing a code, they want to see your code. They are not focusing on your solution. They are focusing on your way how you're writing the code. So that matters a lot here. DS Algo, again, this will be a kind of 1 hour interview where they will be communicating with you in front of you, sitting in front of you, maybe face to face or virtual, and they'll just keep on asking questions to you, and you have to solve those questions. Okay, this will be again maybe a scenario based or maybe a direct question. Okay, web technology, if you are moving into a web development field or a full stack development field, this particular round will be there, in which they will be asking you some things related to web technology, not HTML, CSS and all. Here they'll be asking you about all the different topics, like how internet works, how website works, how browser works, how do you deploy any browser, how do you make a particular website profile public, right? What is system designing? All those different advanced concepts, that's what they're going to ask you here. And in this knowledge, they are going to ask you HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, all those questions based on this. Okay. And then the managerial round. In managerial round is just a round where the manager will be in contact with you. And in product based companies, many people think that in managerial round, there will be no technical questions, but it depends on the mood of the manager. If manager is in the mood of asking some technical questions, they can ask you, right? If the manager has got a feedback from these 4 rounds that they have a doubt whether he is good or not, then the manager will ask too much of technical questions and you can get rejected in this round as well. But when it comes to MNC, when it comes to HR round, if you're reaching till here, nobody can reject you. In HR round, you will get selected. Okay, so that's what is very important. So solve scenario based questions here. Okay, how to get logic easily of any coding questions? Hello Abhay, I'll be answering that. Just wait a second. Subha Brata, I was waiting for this session. Thanks. Okay, great. So I think I've discussed a lot of things, and Abhay and Subhabrata, I will be talking about your questions as well. Just give me 1 minute of time. I just want to check whether, yeah, the last topic which I want to talk about in the topic how to become a programmer from a non-programmer. The last topic is, are you ready? So We have talked about all of the things, right? We have talked about from where you can get knowledge, how much knowledge is required, what questions will be asked, how questions will be asked. If you're going for a MNC company or product based company, what things will be done, right? If you are doing mechanical civil, then what questions will be asked to you in your case. These all things we have discussed, right? Now the question is, are you ready? After knowing all these things, after blabbering for 1 hour, are you ready to get interviewed? Right? So, 5 things you need to know about. First of all, do you have the required knowledge? Required knowledge means what? Required knowledge means if you have a JD means job description. Okay, in the very first beginning of a company, whenever a company is calling you or you are applying for a company, you will be getting a JD means job description, which is basically you will get it in all the job sites, right? Where you get JDs, you get to know what is the required skill set and all. So you have to focus on 3 things in your JD. Okay. First thing, the required skill set. Please understand this carefully because this JD is very, very important. Okay. First thing will be the required skill set. Second thing will be about the company. Okay. And third thing, maybe they'll be writing about the experience, how much experience person they want. Fourth thing, they'll be writing about the package. In some of the cases, this package is not written, or maybe they'll just write based on the experience. And the fifth thing is nothing but what are the benefits which a company is providing, right? This is optional. This is optional. You may not find these 2 things in your JD, right? Understand that a GD is really, really important. It's very important to figure out all these 5 things in your JD. Okay, it's very important to read out each line in your JD because a JD is also prepared by an interviewer in such a manner that they ask questions from this particular JD. Okay, and this has happened to me. This happened to a lot of interview as well. Now you must be thinking that what am I saying? But let me just explain you how this works. So first of all, you should be knowing whether you have the required knowledge or not. When you're looking into the required skill sets, which is written, maybe it's written like it's maybe written C and then Java and then maybe Spring, right? And then maybe Hibernate, right? And then maybe JSON, and then maybe it's written optional, and then in front of optional it's written Python. Okay, some this kind of JD is there. Okay, this kind of required skill set is there, and you know C, you know Java, you know Spring, you don't know what is Hibernate, you don't know what is JSON. So these 2 things you don't know, and you know Python. Okay, and then you'll be thinking, Array, I don't know Hibernate and JSON, and Hibernate and JSON is in the terms and conditions. It is there in the skill set. It should be required. And if I don't know Hibernate JSON, if they will ask Hibernate JSON, then I won't be able to answer any question based on that, right? And then what you'll do, you'll just do not apply to this JD. You'll not apply to this job, thinking that it is not for me. Again, coming to the next one, about, right? In about, it's basically written whether the company is a startup, how is it doing from earlier years, and what is the update, what is the main work of this company, right? Who has founded this company, what is the revenue, and what all things he has done till now, what this company has done till now, right? All these things will be written in this about part. So you will get to know whether it is a startup or not, or whether it is an MNC or not, or whether it is a product based company or not, right? Don't you think these informations are very, very crucial for you? It is. I'll again come back to about, I'll again come back to skill set again. Experience. In experience, maybe it's written maybe it's written 2 to 3 years, and you will not apply to this job. Again, that's wrong. I'll again come back to experience. Package, it's written 8 to 10 LPA. You will think it's written 2 to 3 years, that's why 8 to 10 LPA, you will not apply to this job. Then again, benefits. That doesn't matter. I should not be able to write this also. We are not caring about the benefits. Even if you're If you're getting some benefits, that's okay. Even if you're not getting some benefits, that's also fine. I'll tell you why. Now, talking about the skill set, even if you do not have any particular one or two skill set, you should apply to that job. Okay, in your resume, you will not be writing about Hibernate and JSON, right? So once your interviewer will see the resume and he will find out that okay, he has not written Hibernate and JSON, that means that he doesn't know about it, right? So he will ask you whether you know about JSON or Hibernate or not, and you should say that okay, I don't have knowledge based on that, but I can work on it. I can give you an assurance that I'll start giving training to myself about that, and I'll upskill myself in these two things. But I have a good knowledge in C, Java, Spring, and Python, so that's why I applied for it. And there's no uh, wrong thing in this. Okay, interview will also say that okay, fine, we will give you a training, we will give you 1 month or 2 months of training, and we believe that you will be able to understand what is this and how does it work. Okay, so do not skip these things just to see that in your JD this skill is not there. Next, about, if it is a startup, again do not skip that. Go ahead, because this is startup, maybe you do not know, once you join this startup, after 1 year this startup is $1 billion company. Okay, so it will be an direct impact on you. Many people will just say that when you join, then only this has a boom, right? So do not think that this is startup, what I'll do in startup, I'll not be able to learn anything. That is the only place where you will learn something. In MNCs, basically it's just that 50% you'll be learning. 50% will just be that you will be doing the same kind of job again and again. But in startups, you'll again get a challenge every day. It will be like you'll be stressing your mind. And when you're 21 or 22, it is important to get stressed. When you're getting stressed, then you will start creating some logics. You'll start building some logics. So in your first 2 years or 3 years or 4 years of journey, when you are starting a developer journey, you have to be stressed. You have to get stressed. Many people think that I'm getting into my first company and it's very hectic, right? It is just like I'm not being able to get a satisfied life. You should not get a satisfied life when you are in your first 3 years or 4 years of your developer job. Okay, fine, you should be working hard in that area. You should be working much more. It's not about, don't think in your first year of job that your salary is getting for only 8 to 9 hours of job and you're doing 13 hours. Do not think like that. This will happen. I'll tell you a scenario. So basically what will happen to you is you'll get inside a job, there'll be many seniors. Your seniors will be telling you that अरे यहाँ पे work बहुत ज़्यादा है and you have to do 15 hours of work, you have to do 16 hours of work, and then you'll be like pissed off. You'll be saying that okay, कहाँ पे आ गया मैं, right? This is not the correct place for me, and you will start thinking of switching the job. And also, once you switch the job, your salary will increment like a boom. So if you're getting 4 LPA, you'll getting starting like 6 LPA, because that happens in IT industry. Once you leave any company, you go to another company, you will get a 30% or a 50% hike, maybe a 70% hike as well. Okay, because that company needs you and they will give you that amount, because their revenue is much more than what your current company is having, right? But that's what you don't have to do. So in your first company, when you're going, you have to work 13 to 14 hours, no matter what. No matter what your employees are saying you, no matter what your colleague is saying you, no matter what your manager is saying you have to do for your own. You have to learn a lot in that 1 to 2 or 3 years, because if you're not learning in 1 to 2 3 years, later on after 3 years, you will not be in a habitat to learn something. You just want to do some work. You're not being able to learn something. Okay, so in those first days, first years, you have to get pissed, you have to get stressed in a less salary amount, and do not listen to anybody else, right? And that's what matters a lot. In MNC companies, what happens, basically people go there, they try to get inside a job, and then their life is stable. They're coming to the office, doing the same thing, going back home, doing the same thing, going back home, doing the same thing, going back home. Learning is just 50%, which they'll be doing in 1 year. But in startup, You go back home, you'll be thinking in your mind that how to solve that thing. It didn't happen. What my manager will be thinking about me. I have not solved that particular task. How I'm gonna do that? That's gonna be there in your when you're inside a startup, because startup is growing, right? You will be getting a higher salary because in a startup maybe only 50 to 50, 40 to 50 employees are there. Their revenue is more, only 50 to 50 employees are there. They'll be paying much more to you. In MNC, maybe lakhs of people are there. The revenue may be more, but you will be getting only 3 or to 4. Think like that. MNC is a bigger company, much more employees, lesser salary. Startup is funded, okay? So you will be getting much more paid, but there will be lots of work because there are less employees. So दोनों तरफ ही फायदा और नुकसान है, लेकिन I will tell you that go to startups. Not just suggesting, I'm just telling that if you can gain experience in MNC as well, but it will be stable. In startup, you will face challenges, and if you love challenges, then only you will grow. In MNC, you will have a chill life. इवनिंग में पार्टी कर रहे हैं एंड मॉर्निंग में काम कर रहे हैं एंड दैट्स इट. इट्स अ स्टेबल लाइफ. Startup, you'll have challenges. So first 3 years, if you're getting challenges, there's a much more responsibility with you and you will learn a lot. Correct? So that's what is there. Product-based companies may be same cheese hai. At the first only you'll get a very good salary, and after that again you'll move into SD2, SD3. So product-based companies no problem hota nahi hai, and that's why most of the people want to move into product company, right? So the fact which I was telling about here, the experience, right? Again, experience 2 to 3 years, but you don't have experience. You have applied for it. See, अगर आपने अप्लाई किया है तो इंटरव्यूअर का काम है कि आपको वो रिजेक्ट करे या नहीं, राइट? आप खुद को रिजेक्ट कैसे कर सकते हो? हाउ कैन यू रिजेक्ट योर सेल्फ? ठीक है. I have applied to such jobs where it is written 8 years experience. Then also I've applied there and they wanted me. Okay, so no matter what, how much experience is written there, apply to it. It's all, you just have to click one button, right? It all depends on them whether they want to reject or not. If they want to reject, they don't want any freshers, it's okay, fine. You have another company. But if they are looking into your resume and they want that, okay, this guy has all of the things which I want, then they are going to surely call you whether you have experience or not, right? Package, do not look upon the package. First of all, do not look upon this package. This package is always written in a range, right? And always think that whatever is the minimum, that's what you are going to get. You are not going to get the maximum one, okay? And do not think about the package. First of all, I always say this to everybody, that do not look in the package. The most important thing which you have to look here is the required skill set. Okay, first company में हमेशा आपको अपना skill set देखना है, not the package. If you're looking into the skill set, if you're looking into the work which you are going to do there, later on your package will automatically increase. You're going to learn enough, you're going to get much more skilled, and आपकी skill के लिए आपको पैसा मिलेगा, right? How to get logic easily of any coding questions? Abhay Singh. So logic easily find करना is not a question, okay? First, अगर आपको addition आ रहा है तो आप पहले क्या सोचते हो? If I'm telling you that, hey, can you add 2 numbers? What you will think? You'll think about the logic, right? What logic you're thinking? You're thinking about the logic that a plus b. That's how I'll write the logic of addition, right? If I'm telling you that prime number करना है तो आप कैसे करोगे? या फिर even number करना है कैसे करोगे? Modulus 2 equal to 0. That's the logic, right? So starting from basics, if you move and level it up, right? अगर आप move करके level करोगे, जैसे कि अगर मैं इवन नंबर और ओड नंबर के बाद मैं ग्रेटेस्ट ऑफ 3 इंटीजर का प्रोग्राम लिख रहा हूँ, इफ आई एम राइटिंग अ कोड फॉर ग्रेटेस्ट ऑफ 3 इंटीजर्स, एंड देन आई एम मूविंग टू फिबोनाची सीरीज, then I'm moving to factorial, then I'm moving to leap year code, right? And then I'm moving to some DSA codes. You will understand how the logics are written. अगर आपको कोई डायरेक्टली बोल देगा कि ये एक एरे है, इसको सॉर्ट करो, आप क्या करोगे? आप नहीं कर पाओगे. Maybe you will use the predefined method sort and you will say that it is sorted, right? लेकिन अगर आपके पास स्टेप बाय स्टेप एक एक क्वेश्चंस हैं जो आपको इजी से लेके मीडियम से लेके हार्ड तक लेके जा रहा है, तो आपके पास एक पूरा फ्लो रहेगा कि यार ऐसा सॉल्व मैंने किया था पहले वाले क्वेश्चन पे, एंड इन द सेम मैनर आई कैन सॉल्व दिस. सो The answer to your question is practice, nothing else. When you will do practice, when you start solving questions, when you start solving easy questions, then move to the medium questions, then move to the hard questions, then only you'll be practicing also, and you'll be understanding each of the questions, how it is getting linked. How you will get all these questions? There are many platforms where you will get these questions. There's Lead Code, there are Hacker Rank, Hacker Earth, Geeks for Geeks. There are a lot of places where you can do this, right? So they have the things designed it as well. They have easy, medium, hard. You don't have to arrange it also. They have easy, medium, hard. It's just that you are not starting off. It's just that you're afraid that अगर ये क्वेश्चन आया तो इसका क्या लॉजिक लिखूंगा मैं, what I'll be writing, because I don't know anything about it. Start doing it, start creating it. Time will come when after 2 months you are creating your own logic. जो किसी ने नहीं किया है, आपने वो लॉजिक निकाल दिया है. That's how you have to do, okay? Lucifer, bro, what are the booming and growing technology roles to pursue for huge growth? Lucifer, right now, only 2 languages. If you talk about languages, only 2 languages is booming: JavaScript and Python. In India, if I talk about, okay? If you're going for abroad, if you're going to do MS and all, go ahead and do ML, AI, DS. That's always booming right now, right? But for a fresher, booming and something, if you are terming it as, it's JS and Python, nothing else. अगर आपको JS और Python का एक एक चीज पता है, if you know every and single details about it, you can get placed in the most amazing roles in any of the IT company. Okay. Another thing which is very much booming right now is data analyst. Okay. Data analyst is one of a kind of a role where you need to know Python and you need to know SQL and you need to know Excel. Excel basically हमने स्कूल में पढ़ा हुआ है, so we should be knowing how Excel works. थोड़ा बहुत advanced functions अगर Excel का आ जाए, you'll be better, right? And SQL, you know database, how to work with queries. If you know Python, SQL, and Excel, data analyst is a most demanding job role right now. The starting package of this is mostly 8 to 9 LPA. If you are from a tier 3 college, any college, doesn't matter. But if you have this skill, starting package will be that. Okay. Which technology to select among DevOps and web dev? Lucifer, again, these two things are different. You know that, right? Now, I can't suggest you which will be better. Both is doing really good in the industry. If you talk about cloud infrastructure is doing a lot of things in current Indian IT market, and it is on demand. Everybody is moving into AWS, but you know, I don't feel to move into AWS because मुझे नहीं पसंद. So it's my choice, right? It's my choice. I know that I don't want to do AWS. I have never learned about AWS. Maybe in future in some company I'll be using AWS and that time I'll learn. But right now I know that I don't want to learn AWS because it is no interest of me. I want to do some coding. I want to write some logics. I want to design something of my own. That's what interests me. So that's why I'm into web development. Right? That's why I'm into web development. So it depends on you. It doesn't depend on what is booming. अगर मैं बोल दूं कि अभी booming सबसे ज़्यादा क्या है, that's nothing but YouTube. Right? Everybody is opening YouTube. Everybody is earning from that. Right? Insta Reels. आप बनाओ, आप प्रमोशन करो डिफरेंट एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स का, आपको पैसा मिलेगा. That is booming. So that's something which you will not do, right? So everything which is booming, it's not important that you should go ahead and do it. It's all about your likes. Data science बहुत booming था, 2 साल से 3 साल से बहुत booming है, right? But even then, there are so many people who are not moving into data science because they're not liking it. Correct? So that's the thing. The technology to select among DevOps and web dev, I'll tell you that please go ahead and search about yourself, what you want to do. You have interest on DevOps, you have interest on web development. DevOps is mostly into जब आप पूरा web page बना देते हो, पूरा website बना देते हो, then there comes development operations. So you have to do some operations on the website. You have to maintain it. You have to check it whether your website is working properly or not. You have to use some DevOps tools to check your website properly, right? So DevOps का पूरा सिस्टम कोडिंग पे नहीं है. DevOps का पूरा सिस्टम थ्योरेटिकल नॉलेज पे है, It's very much different from development, web development. Again, cloud infrastructure, AWS is very much different from web development. So it depends on you. I hope you got the answer, Lucifer. I hope you have not got confused, right? See, I can't give you direct answers. I just can't give you that web development kar lo, because if you again do it and it's not of your interest, then आप ही का mistake है, right? It's your life. So I can't just give you a random suggestion, then do this, right? I'm very proficient in my concepts, but I can't crack coding around. What are your suggestions for me? Pranav, it happens. Okay, it happens a lot to a lot of people, right? There can be many reasons. I don't know what is your reason, right? But it happens to a lot of people. It's not only about you that you are not being able to crack the coding round. A lot of people do face this problem. Now the problem can be maybe you're afraid, right? Maybe you're not confident enough. Let me just erase this and I'll write some pointers. Okay. Now, tell me one thing, Pranav, right? So not only you, but all the other people who are watching this session, tell me one thing. Let's say that, I am teaching one lesson to you, right? I'm teaching one lesson to you, and that is nothing but जावास्क्रिप्ट का कोई लेसन है, लेट्स से क्लोजर्स, ठीक है? ये एक लेसन है, ये एक लेसन है जो मैं आपको पढ़ाना चाह रहा हूँ, फाइन. नाउ अगर मुझे इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, अगर इफ आई एम हैविंग एनी डाउट, मुझे पता है क्लोजर्स क्या है, ठीक है, बट अगर आप मुझसे पूछ दोगे, इफ इन द लाइव चैट समबडी हैज टोल्ड मी दैट सर अगर वो वेरिएबल को नीचे लिख दे, इफ आई राइट दैट वेरिएबल अबव द फंक्शन, अगर मैं उस फंक्शन को इधर लिख दूं तो क्या होगा, एंड आई विल बी इन डाउट कि क्या होगा, क्योंकि मुझे भी नहीं पता क्या होगा, राइट? बिकॉज आई एम इन डाउट, आई एम नॉट हैविंग क्लियर कॉन्सेप्ट अबाउट डिस्क्लोजर्स, क्योंकि मैंने वो चीज़ें ट्राई नहीं की जो आप पूछ रहे हो. द थिंग्स विच यू आर आस्किंग, I've not done that. I have been in doubts, right? So what I'll do, I'll try to do that, and then I'll be very shocked because I don't know क्या हुआ वहाँ पे, right? So अगर मैं इस चीज़ में confident नहीं हूँ, I will not take this session. मैं इस लेसन को पढ़ाऊंगा ही नहीं जब तक मैं confident नहीं हूँ. If I'm not confident enough, how can I sit in an interview? I'll be in doubt, I'll be afraid, my expressions will say that I'm not confident, right? अगर आप HTML, CSS और JavaScript में confident हो, if you are very confident in those interviews, if you know the concepts, if you have revised it again and again, if you know that मेरे को ये पता है, मेरे को ये पता है, आपको पता है for loop कैसे काम करता है, right? Because you are very confident in that. You have used it hundred of times. Array का value कैसे fetch करते हैं, फॉर लूप कैसे यूज़ करते हैं, कितने तरीके के फॉर लूप होते हैं, वाइल डुअल में क्या अंतर, ये सब आपको पता है क्योंकि आपने ये बहुत टाइम यूज़ किया हुआ, आपने इंजीनियरिंग टाइम से इसको यूज़ किया है. दैट्स वाई यू नो दिस एंड दैट्स वाई यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट इन दैट. अगर मैं आपको भी बोल दूँ कि प्लीज़ राइट अ कोड फॉर लूप, यू विल राइट इट, राइट? बट इफ़ आई टेल यू दैट राइट अ प्रोग्राम, सिनेरियो दे रहा हूँ, इस सिनेरियो का कोडिंग है, आपको ये सॉल्व करना, आप नहीं कर पाओगे बिकॉज आपने उसको प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया. यू आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट इन दैट. So again, you have to be very confident in whatever you're doing, right? So actually all test cases not get passed. Test cases pass नहीं हो रहा है, इसका मतलब तो obviously in your code something is wrong, right? Some logic is wrong. You know that अगर test case कुछ pass नहीं हो रहा है, मतलब आपके program में कुछ गलत है, correct? It's not something like somebody else is doing, right? So here again something called as practice. जितना practice करेंगे उतना ज़्यादा पता चलेगा. Again here if I'm saying practice, you will say that hey sir is suggesting practice, right? अब मान लो कि आप कल को Amazon का इंटरव्यू में गए, right? And he has asked some question, you have never done it, you have never done in your life, okay? You have never done in your life, and let's say ये नहीं बना, Amazon में selection नहीं हुआ. अगले दिन you are trying to open lead code और आपने जस्ट वो जो आप जो कर रहे थे, जो आप रोज एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर दे डीएसए का, आपने वैसे ही इस बार अगले दिन का लीड कोड क्वेश्चन खोला, आपको वही सेम क्वेश्चन मिल गया. द सेम क्वेश्चन यू फाउंड इट हियर एंड यू बी लाइक अरे यार ये तो कल पूछा गया था अमेजोन में, राइट? So it can happen that the programs which you are writing, the codes or the scenario questions which is getting asked to you, it has not been come to you right now. You do not know about it. Do not know about the logic, but it is there in your life. आगे जाके वो क्वेश्चन आएगा, right? So do not think that Amazon में नहीं हुआ तो कहीं नहीं होने वाला. There are a lot of companies in India. There are a lot of product based companies in India. There are a lot of service based companies in India. ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि कोई भी क्वेश्चंस आपको नहीं आएंगे. One place, maximum in 2 place, there will be questions which you will be knowing. Every question will be knowing. और टेस्ट केस वहाँ पे काम करेगा, right? Right? वहाँ पे टेस्ट केस काम करेगा क्योंकि know about this, you know about that, you have solved that question, right? Now आपने सॉल्व किया है क्वेश्चन और वो वहाँ इंटरव्यू में जाके सॉल्व नहीं हो पा रहा है, and that's your confident. Then that's your confidence. You're losing confidence. Time will come when you'll be sitting in front of interviewer. Interviewers ask the question. You know that question. You will smile, but then you will get afraid. और आप कुछ ज़्यादा ही स्माइल कर दोगे. You will be like, मैंने किया था but अभी याद नहीं आ रहा. That is not something which a programmer does. You are not mugging up things. You are solving a question in a way कि कभी भी मेरे को ये question दे दो, I will be solving it. I will be able to solve it. In that way you have to attend all the lead code questions. Not like that ये ऐसे solve हो गया, ठीक है ये क्वेश्चन हो गया इसको फेंको. You don't have to do like that, right? Hi Ankur. Okay Pranav, you got this. Perfect. In DSA, which topic is most important for FANG companies? Again, DSA पूरे के पूरे ही important माना जाता है, right? अगर आप यहाँ पे कुछ भी पकड़ो, if you take any particular topic, let's say you are taking graphs, if you are taking stacks, if you are taking map, trees, बहुत सारे algorithms होती हैं, right? And बहुत सारे sorting, searching होती हैं, right? There are a lot of things which is there which can be asked in your interviews, right? किसी भी फैंग कंपनी का एक लिस्ट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस नहीं होता है कि आपको वहीं उसी टॉपिक से पूछा जाएगा. इट्स नॉट दैट only from those questions these questions will be asked, okay? Only from those topics. If you will search in Google, they'll try to say that Amazon may only from these topics it will be asked, but when you're going for an Amazon interview, you'll see that they are asking questions from graphs as well, so you'll get shocked, right? So again, agar koi bol raha hai, if somebody is saying that do DSA, it's not that you have to do, it's not like a CAT exam na ki CAT exam ke aptitude mein only this aptitude topics will be asked. CAT ka ek syllabus hota hai, right? Do you know that? If you're I don't know if you're preparing for CAT or something, but agar CAT ka preparation kar rahe ho, if you are willing to do, and if you're doing to GATE, CAT, kuch bhi aise kuch bhi competitive exams, they have a syllabus, and there's a strict syllabus, right? अगर उस स्ट्रिक्ट सिलेबस के बाहर कुछ पूछा जाए तो ग्रेस मार्क्स मिलता है. इंटरव्यू में ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या? डू यू हैव समथिंग लाइक दिस इन इंटरव्यूज? डीएसए का कुछ सिलेबस दिया गया है, ओनली फ्रॉम देयर Amazon can ask questions. If Amazon is asking questions from out of syllabus, they are going to give you grace marks and you'll get placed. No, right? There's nothing such like that. So अगर आपके पास टाइम है, if you want to get into DSA, if you want to achieve that, if you want to learn those things, what is stopping you to learn all of the things? It's for you, right? It's for your benefit. Don't think about Google or Amazon. Don't keep your goal to be working in a Google or a Microsoft or to be in a fine company. Keep your goal as a short goal. I'll tell you what is short goal and a long goal. Now basically long goal आपका क्या है? फैंग कंपनीज में वर्क करना, राइट? फैंग कंपनीज में वर्क करना या फिर माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में भी, राइट? दैट इज अ लॉन्ग गोल. शॉर्ट गोल क्या है? ये सारे टॉपिक्स कवर करना, लीड कोड के सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना, गीट्स फॉर गिट्स के सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना. शॉर्ट गोल क्या है कि एवरी डे आई विल सॉल्व 2 क्वेश्चन. दैट इज योर शॉर्ट गोल. पहले शॉर्ट गोल तो कंप्लीट कीजिए. इफ यू कंप्लीट द शॉर्ट गोल्स, लॉन्ग गोल अचीव करने में टाइम लगेगा ही नहीं, राइट? So do not find a shortcut. I'm not trying to do a negative thing here, mission tech DK. I'm not trying to just say that, go and search for only those topics or go and do only those topics which is important for DSA. I'm just saying here that you never know what questions can be asked to you. Suppose if something extra has been asked to you and if you do not know about it, then that way all your preparation, all your hard work is gone, right? So why you take a risk? Go ahead and prepare everything. You have time, you have everything. Prepare short goals for yourself, achieve that short goal, be happy, go and have some chocolate for that, and then come back, do again the next day short goal, complete that short goal, then again do every day. At last your long goal will be achieved. That's what I'll say. Sir, can you share roadmap for DSA? Ankur, I think the best roadmap for DSA can be given by other educators. Again, I'm being very honest with you guys, because here my work is mostly into web development, front end part, back end part, how to connect, how to create a website, all these logics questions, or the interview tips and tricks. Okay, DSA is itself a very big thing, right? And to discuss about DSA, we have other educators, our friends who are taking live sessions in that, right? So if you go ahead and watch some DSA live sessions where other educators are there, like Striver is there, and some more CP is also going on right now, like live sessions are going on right now. You can go ahead and ask it this question, the same question to you, to them. Okay, ask the same question to them, Ankur. What's going to happen there, that they will be able to guide you in a much more better way. Because if you ask me, I can assure you that I can give you a 60 to 70% kind of guidance in DSA, but not complete 100%. I'm very much honest in that, right? So if I'm giving honest feedback, go ahead and ask these questions to another educators. They are going to give you an 100% DSA roadmap, and if you follow that, you'll do a great thing there. Okay, so yeah, which year is best to start learning DSA? Ankur, in which particular semester you are? There's no year when you want to start learning. It's the moment. It's your willpower. So please, can you explain me, Ankur, in which particular semester are you, or whether you are graduated? Meanwhile, I'll just move into the another points, right, where I was asking about, are you ready? So do you have the required knowledge to get yeah, so what was my next thing? Yeah, so are you ready, right? Are you ready for the interview? That's what I was discussing. So the last thing is to discuss here is, when you will get to know when you're ready, you have to be very confident. When you're very confident in all of the things, like right now I'm very confident in HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, right? So I am ready for the interview to give for any particular front end developer position, right? I'm very much confident in that. So that is what is confident means. So first thing, if you're confident enough, then you're ready for the interview. Second thing is, do you think that how much knowledge you have, anybody will pay you for that knowledge? Understand what I'm saying here, right? Nobody will say this thing, but try to understand what I'm saying. Let's say that you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, okay? You have some amount of knowledge. I don't know how much amount of knowledge you have, but let's say you have some amount of knowledge. Do you think that anybody, any company, or anybody will pay you an amount to get that knowledge from you, or use that knowledge from with you? Do you think that? Like, suppose that if I am a company, like I am a company and I want to hire one of the person who knows HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? And I'm taking an interview, but I feel that no, he is not that good in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. He's just saying that he is good, but he's not good. So I will not pay him that. I'll not hire him. Why I'll waste my money in that person, right? But if he is skilled enough, I'm going to take him and I'm going to pay him how much ever he'll ask me, because he'll do my work, right? This thing you need to think by yourself. You need to think that whether you have the knowledge, you think that I can help a company by my knowledge, whatever I know. If you know that you are in that particular condition, you are ready for the interview. You are ready to get inside a company. Okay. So Ankur, you are in third semester. So best time to start with DSA is after understanding how to create a website. Okay, first, the very easy thing is to create a website or to create a page, right? A web page or a website designing, in which you require some of the topics, right, Ankur? You need to have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or some of the frameworks, right? Now, when you will do this, you don't have any knowledge on DSA. You don't need any knowledge of DSA right now, right? But why am I telling you to do this? Because it's easy to do, and you will get a confidence here that you now know at how to create a website. There are a lot of advantages to this. There are three advantages to know this. Understand, all of you guys. There are three advantages to do this earlier. First, that you are getting a confidence that I'm not stupid. I know something and I can do something. I know how to create a website. I know how the frameworks works. I know how to connect front end and back end. I know how to deploy one web page, one website. I know these things. So I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. I have some skill. Then after you know these things, you're going to move into DSA, right? Now suppose you are learning DSA, but DSA is very hard for you. You're not being able to do it because many of the people do not go and attempt DSA. They think that creating a logic is not my work. I can't do it. It's not giving me interest. It can happen, right? Then you have the second advantage. From this knowledge, you can get a job, right? You can get a job from this knowledge, right? Third advantage, that if you want to move into any other field, let's say data science, let's say Python, let's say data analyst, any such kind of roles, these will be useful. These you should be knowing if you want to move into these sectors. So there are advantages in all of the ways if you're learning this way, if you're learning this part, right? But many people start from DSA because DSA is in demand. Product companies do ask questions from DSA, so they move ahead with DSA. What if DSA is not your journey? What if DSA is not your future? Then what? You should have a backup plan, right? This is what is a backup plan. This is also IT. This is also IT. It's just about the job. It's just about the work. Correct? Now, what happens if you do this? You'll be working inside a company where you'll be creating websites, or maybe you'll creating a software development projects. You'll be working for a company where you will contribute. In DSA, you'll be contributing. You'll be designing some applications for that company. Here also you're contributing. Here also you're contributing. The same thing. So after development, I'll suggest go for DSA. Okay. So Ankur, if you've not done any development, go ahead and do that first. Web development, right? Understand how web designing is done, understand how web pages are created, because it is easy to do. Any particular dumb person can do that. That doesn't mean that you're dumb. You're smart. You can do it. So go ahead and do that. Create some web pages, websites. And then when you're done with this, you are skilled enough, go ahead and start learning DSA. Because then you will have the confidence that I can do this, then why can't I do DSA? It's a piece of cake for me, right? No one can have 100% knowledge. So how much knowledge is preferable from us? Pranav Patil, very good. No one can have 100% knowledge. Interviewer also doesn't want you to have 100% of knowledge, because interviewer himself is not having 100% of knowledge. Trust me, interviewer is not having 100% knowledge. I have taken many interviews, okay? But I know only those topics. I know what all topics, that topics only I'll ask the candidate. Yes or no? Because I'm very confident in that questions, because I'm very confident in those topics. So I'm going to ask that. Why I'll ask those questions which I don't know. So interviewers are also not 100% knowledgeable. Okay. Now, but interviewer is taking your interview. Why? Because they have those knowledge which is keeping them inside a company. They have all the required knowledge which they require to have to be consistent in that company, to be in that company. And that's what they want in you. Okay. So if you want to move into product company, DSA is something which is becoming a hype right now, correct? So they will be asking questions based on any particular DSA topic, but their main motto is to only look into the logic and to the complexity of the program, right? And to how you're writing the code. They do not care whether you are solving the problem or not. They do not care whether you are coming to a solution or not. They just want to see what logic you are applying, what is the time complexity that you are using, and how much short is the program, and how you're writing the code. These are the things which they look upon. These things doesn't need 100% knowledge. These things just needed practice knowledge. If you're practicing, you will be in a habitat to do this. Till now, I've been teaching HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This is now becoming a habit for me. I can't do any mistake in that. I cannot do any mistake in that. Maybe syntax error we can do, but I can't do any logical errors in that because from 3 years I'm doing that. So I'm very much confident in that. If in 1 year you will practice DSA at least 2 problems in a day, don't you think this logic, this complexity, this how to write a code you will understand? You will. Okay, so that's not 100% knowledge. That's just 50-60%, right? The other thing is system designing. The other thing is knowledge about one programming language. So beyond DSA, there is some more things. Do not just go ahead and master DSA. There are a lot of things beyond DSA. There's system designing concepts. There is logical reasoning. There is some HR or managerial round questions which can be asked to you and you do not know how to answer. You know how to write a code. You are getting a solution. You're very good in time complexity and everything, but your communication skill is not good. Your way of talking is not good. You're not very talkative. These are not making you 100%. Okay. So how much knowledge is preferable from us? Only that much knowledge which a company requires. That is the correct answer. How much knowledge a company requires? Look in the JD. He wants only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You should be only knowing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That is the only knowledge you should be knowing. If he has written DSA, basic DSA, all the questions which you are solving from last 1 year in the lead code, that's enough. Go ahead and attempt. Go and give at least an attempt. If you're getting rejected, don't worry about that. They, again, understand a lot of companies. There's not only FANG which you want to go inside. Do you know right now, Cred, Ola, Uber, these are also competitors of these companies, right? And no matter what, in 1 year, what happens? Suppose you are working in Ola company, the next year it can become a billion company. Still it is, but you don't know, right? So do not run over these companies. Do not just have a goal, have a long goal, but again, do not die and do it for only these companies. There are a lot of good companies other than FANG companies, right? Okay, what is the other question? Nowadays, everyone is learning DSA and doing dev. So how to stand out from the crowd? Is there enough jobs? Yes, there is. There is a lot of jobs. I have told you about data analyst. Data analyst is a very perfect job for those people who want to just sit and relax. Okay, because there what you do, you have to just give a particular company a business idea that, hey, you have this data, I'll clean it and look at it. You have a lot of opportunity to grow in your industry. That is called as a business analyst, a data analyst, a data analysis, all those things. Data analyst is a very good job. You can go ahead and do that if you do not want to do all this dev and all. If you want to stand out from the crowd. Why every people is going into this crowd? Why they want to move into web development and DSA? Because there are a lot of jobs based on that, and the job is in demand. That job is in demand. It's not gonna go waste. In any upcoming year, it will not happen that there is no job for web development. In any upcoming year, there is no way that scenario that product based company will not be there. It will be there. That's how India is developing, right? So that's why there's a crowd there. If you want to stand out from the crowd, go ahead and do machine learning. Go ahead and do AI. Very good. You'll be able to learn a lot of things in AI. Gaming development, Unity, 3D, data analyst. These are some roles which is extraordinary in IT. Okay. So try to do that. So for passed out students but still not placed, what needs to be followed? If you are a passed out student, if you're a passed out student and you still have not get any job, no matter what, each day, each day, try to give at least one interview. Try to give at least one interview. No matter what, if you're, even if it is a startup, even if it is just having 10 employees, give that interview. Try to think like this, that even if I get rejected, there's no problem. I'm happy. Okay. Why? Understand again the logical concept. Okay. Understand from all these interviews, maybe it's a very good startup, maybe it's an MNC company, maybe it's a product based company, maybe it's a startup company which is not working, also it's not having revenue, also it's just having 10 employees, and that's how it's working. Or maybe some companies where they just want you as a part time. Okay, in all these kind of companies, you have to give the interview. So each day you should have one interview in your hand. Okay, now suppose if this is a very good startup, they'll be giving you a task to do, a sheet of paper or a PDF. They'll be giving it to you and you have to solve this in a maybe 2 days or one day, right? What you'll be doing, you'll be solving this day and night. You'll be solving this because you want a job, right? And once you do this, maybe two things will happen: either you will get success in solving this, either you'll get failed. If you'll get success, you'll move into the next round. If you'll get failed, you are getting some knowledge about this task, how it's getting solved, right? Leave this. You got this skill, right? That's what you wanted from that interview. You did not want it to get placed, but you wanted that skill. You wanted to get to know that what kind of question has been asked in that kind of interviews. In this interview, you have been again given a task. You again try to solve it. Your time should not get wasted. Your 8 hours to 9 hours, whatever you're doing, that whole time should be given to this. And either you'll get success, either you'll get failure. If you'll get success, move to the next round. If you'll get failure, you're not getting failed. You are again learning something from here. So from each day you are learning something. Yes or no? Because each day you're giving interviews. And one day will come when these things which you have learned, you will use these all things in one of the bigger interview and you will get placed there. And then you will say that, okay, I think if I would have not given all those interviews, I would have not known how to do this task of my company where I got placed. So get this. Now you will ask me, how should I get these companies each day? So go ahead and apply for at least 50-60 companies in one day, in Naukri, in Indeed, in Cutshot, in Hirist, in AngelList. Every particular job page, go ahead and apply. Even in the company's page, go ahead and apply. So 1 hour, just give it to 1 hour in one day, give it just for applying to the jobs. You will get at least 5 calls in one day if you'll apply to 50 companies. That's how a fresher gets stressed. For experienced people, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. If an experienced person is applying, he will get a call the next day. But for freshers, there are a lot of freshers in India. So that's why even if you apply 50-60 companies, you'll be getting only 5 companies as a reply, right? So that's what matters. And I hope you got this answer, Dhanush. So like, should I do DSA as well as along with web development? I suggest not as well as, not do it together. Don't do it together. If you are being able to do multitasking, then do it. If you're not very good at multitasking, then don't do it together. You will get stressed and nothing will come into your hand. So if you're not a very good multitasker, start from web development. Learn that web development. Okay, get an idea how does it work. Once you have an idea, very basic idea how does this work, then move your time, give your time to DSA, and then start solving at least 2 questions per day, right? And do not skip that. Like you do not skip your food, just like that you do not have to skip the questions 2 2 questions per day, right? So perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this session was really good. Please go ahead and tell other people also to join this, because this session was really, really interesting. And next session is at 9:30. I'm gonna again come back, right? And in this session, I've discussed about how to become a programmer from a non-programmer field, right? The another session which is at 9:30, I'm gonna come back and I'm going to tell you about how to start coding in your journey. And once you're placed, once you are experienced, once you're working, then what you have to do there. So once you're inside a company, what you have to do there, that's what we are going to discuss. Okay, so I'll come back at 9:30, and you can have your dinner, get some break, have some water, and then come back at 9:30. 9:30 session will again be very, very interesting, because I'm going to talk about a lot of things. You're going to get a lot of insights. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Please join the Telegram channel. The Telegram channel link is given in the description, the video description. Go ahead and click on it and join it. You'll be getting all the notifications and updates about which particular educator is coming live at what time with what topic. So please join the Telegram channel. Also, please do subscribe the YouTube channel as well, which is CodeBeyond. Hit the notification bell so that you'll get a notification in the YouTube app as well. And please like and share this video so that more and more number of people will get to know about this sessions, right? So thank you so much, guys. I'll meet you again at 9:30 p.m. and we'll be back with another session on tips and tricks part 2. Bye-bye.